Hello, good evening. Good evening. My name is Kwabena. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to share with you, share your knowledge. Share your knowledge. Share your knowledge. For the last 5 years or so, maybe 10 years, we can see that there is an explosion of knowledge, especially when the social media came up. There's so much that there's so much data, that are being generated every day. And if you look at it, depending on the development status of the community, of the country, or of the culture, and the data that they share. So for instance, if you have a lot of friends from people in a developing economy, you see that there is a particular trend of knowledge that they share. And if you have friends with, say, people from a bit more developed economy, their concentration is also different. But the good thing is that whether we created the technology that is spreading the knowledge or some other people created it, at least benefit from it. And so we can use it for the good of our society, because there is a lot of knowledge, a lot of data being shared. Now, a group of people can be left behind or can use it, the spread of the knowledge, to create a change, to create development, and to solve problems of society. So I want to share with you what I call share your knowledge. Every one of us, if you have ever worked anywhere, if you ever gone through some things in life, if you ever gone through some school, some training, and maybe you are around 15 upwards, there is something that you know. There is something that you know that you can share with people. There's something, whether you're a carpenter, you're a mason, whether you're a business person, whatever that you have gathered in your professional life, in your personal life, there is always something that you know that you can share with people. The tendency is that a lot of people think that they don't know anything, or some people don't believe that what they know, they should share it with anybody, because they think that they went through so much to gather that, and why should they share? But I think that itself is an error. Knowledge is such that if you share what you know, you grow yourself, and then the other people or the other person that you're sharing the knowledge with also tends to grow. So it's not like I have a secret and I want to keep it to myself. No, your philosophy gets mature when you start to share with those who you care about, or those who would want to know the things that you know. Because until you start to share something, you really don't even understand the subject, and that is knowledge. Knowledge is said that if you keep it with yourself, if you keep it to yourself, you stop the growth of the knowledge, and you even the refining of the knowledge, you even stop it. And so you, the one who is sharing the knowledge, you are as learning as the other one who you are sharing it with. And that is a philosophy that I think that should spread. The other time I was talking to a friend, and we were discussing some ideas on entrepreneurship and business and things like that. And his philosophy is, why would you want to share some things that you have gone through, so many errors, so many painful scenarios, experiences, readily like that? Why? And some other friend even said that just monetize it, just get some money out of it. Why would you want to share anything that you know with somebody? But I don't share that. I think that Africans, for instance, almost everything we get late. So if you look around the world now, people are sharing. People are sharing a lot of things about innovation, about creativity, about entrepreneurship, business, we get to share just about the academic knowledge, the politics, the religion. Those are the things that attract us. And then in between, there's a lot of sports and entertainment and what again? And all the things that people share on WhatsApp and on Facebook, trivialities. This is a fine opportunity for us to, to spare and to double jump into development. But you see, there's not going to be any change, any growth until there is a shared knowledge among many people, quality knowledge that can bring results. And yet, if you look at the things that people send to you on WhatsApp, on Facebook, it's amazing. So it has to be politics, it has to be religion, some scriptures that they send to you, it has to be what again, comedy, sports, just about that, but things that bring productivity, creation, innovation, we don't get a lot of people to share them. And that shows that the quality of knowledge that we have, and that shows the philosophy that we have about sharing knowledge. It does not mean that some people don't know this. Some people know, but they don't have the tendency, or they don't think that they should share anything with anybody. They don't even think that the people getting to know things is part of their duties at all. And so I'm sharing with you, sharing your knowledge, whatever that you feel you know. Share them, especially things that can help us to develop, the things that can help people to get productive, things that can help people to organize, to get something to do with their lives. If you know things like that, you don't have to keep them. Share them, because the technology has created a huge platform for every one of us to share the things that you have done, things that you have experience in, not the article that you want to read that you want to share. Maybe those could even help, but at least the things that you have done, there is something that you are doing, you have gathered information on something. Can you share it with people? Can you share it with another person? Can you share with another person? Those are the things that are going to gather for improvement to happen, for growth to happen, for development to happen. So if we all know something about something in this life. Every one of us knows something. You may know something about your phones, you may know something about sewing clothes, you may know something about computers, you may know something about business, whatever you know. Don't keep the knowledge to yourself. I think that if they left us in the industrialization, they should not leave us in the knowledge revolution. They should not. If you look at it, we have got to gather a lot of momentum to change the knowledge base that we have as Ghanaians, as Africans, for us to enter into the level that people start to innovate, people start to create, people start to develop, and that becomes the common culture, And so far, that is not a common culture. That is the limited one, that is in a very small portion of the population. But the dominant one is more of the, the politics knowledge, the religion knowledge, the academic, knowledge, so to say, and what again, the sports, the entertainment kind of knowledge. The other round, where people are thinking of new gadgets, innovation, science, creation, that kind of knowledge, or things that bring productivity, things that solve problems for society. That kind of knowledge is in serious short demand. And you would even think that maybe if our grandparents or our parents who did not go to school are locked in that kind of section or sector, the new generation who have gone to school, the professionals, so to say, will be occupied with sharing things that will cause a serious change on the continent. On the other hand, we don't get to see that. And I call something knowledge process. What I've seen is that when human beings are born, in a modern society now, they send us to school. So when we go to school, they give us some kind of information. And so if you finish, let's say primary school, JSS, if you get to go to any professional school or maybe first degree, they give you some kind of tools, some kind of knowledge. A lot of people, if they are not educated, that is one side. If they are educated, they build those kind of expertise in that. They went to study engineering, law. They get that kind of information. And what I've seen is that beyond the school, most of them, all the expertise that they have is just hinge, or they are coming from the school training that they gave them. They don't add their own personal revelation to it. And so you hear a lawyer, a lot of them are on radio nowadays anyway, so they want to explain everything based on what they were taught in the classroom. So there are people human beings who didn't go to school at all, and then there are those who we sent to school. They become professionals. You see that they try to explain everything based on what the information that they were given in school. So you meet the doctor, is the same. You meet the lawyer, is the same. You meet the engineer. They are just trying to explain everything based on the tools that they were given in school. From my point of view, I think that those people are many. And that's why we are not improvising. That's why we are not bringing a lot of solutions. Because there is a third form of development. Let's say the primary one, where you just cultural training, and then there's the second one where they send you to school to get some kind of information. Then there's a third one, which is you use the tools that they gave you from that training, from the law, from the engineering, from the culture, from the marketing that you did. You use those tools to discover things that people have not discovered, so to say, things that are unique to you, to bring solutions. From that third level is where people are able to cause a lot of change and are able to produce things beyond what is not known. But if you look at it critically, you see that the second phase, where everybody is, he's a doctor, and all that his interpretation of life is based on just the knowledge that they trained with him or they gave him at the college or at the university. And so the third one, which is the knowledge that you get based on the tools. They gave you tools. So they gave you these all principles. Now you are looking at those principles and you are extracting what is unique based on how you understand life. And those people who are able to take the development to that level, those are the people who are able to extract a lot of revelation and to change things. If you look at Africa, those people are very few. They're very few, because our mastery is just based on what they taught us in school. And so they just follow and manage what comes to them, and they are very good at maintaining, because they are only trying to bring everything to the level of the training that they gave them in school. So they bring everything. If you are lucky, they will not cause distraction, but they are able to maintain. The third phase is the stage that those people use. They develop themselves, they go into themselves, and they are able to extract knowledge based on the tools that they were given, and they are able to come up with innovations, they are able to come up with creations, and those people are the ones who cause changes. And so when I talk about knowledge sharing, I'm not talking about just the training from the school that everybody knows. I'm talking of your own personal revelation based on the foundation that you had. If you are doing business, you have read all the business books, you have done some business. What is it that you have identified that are unique to you, that you can share with people, that they cannot even find it in any book, so to say? What is it that you have found yourself, that you can share with people? They could just be practical knowledge, but they are not short. They don't go against the fundamentals per se, but they are just something that you have discovered yourself. Those are the things that you share with people. And when you start to share with people, you get those things established more in yourself, and then you get people inspired to you never know what you can start in people's life by sharing with them anything that you have gone to study yourself. I'm not talking of just the professor one that they gave you in classroom. I'm talking of the things that you have identified based on what you have learned, what you have developed, what you have discovered in this life. So every one of us know something. We all know something. Every one of us knows something. That which you share. You share with people. If there is any people who should share more, I think it's Africans, because we are late. And yet, you cannot share knowledge until there's some level of trust. If you go to somebody and you're just discussing, even just a mere discussion, If you see that the person that undermines you, the person does not trust in your intelligence, you are hesitant to share anything that you know. And so knowledge, really, sharing of knowledge is explosive in an environment where there is a bit of trust. And that's why you can see what in any community, in any country, that the trust is weak. They don't trust themselves, and they don't trust any other. They don't share knowledge. They don't share anything that they know at all. And that is the reason why they're still where they are. Because the more you share knowledge, more knowledge is multiplied, or knowledge is what is the English? Well, if you want to say viral, is a common word. Knowledge is multiplied. It reproduces itself when it's shared. Because when you went to school, the professor shared knowledge with you. When you completed the school, his knowledge didn't get exhausted. He still took another session and shared. And it recreates. Knowledge recreates. The more you share knowledge, the more they recreate, and the more the other people can go and share. And that's how you start a revolution. You start a change process. You start growth process by sharing. So if you have that tendency to say that it's my secret, I'll never share with anybody. And yet, when it's nonsense and when it is comedy, you are the first one to send it to another person. No. What are the things that you have discovered in this life? What is it that you know? Who are the people that you can share? Who shares some kind of believability in you? Who shares some kind of trust? Who exhibits some kind of confidence in you? Who can you share with? Because that's the new economy, so to say. I know we are not in the new economy anyway. The rest of the world may be in a new economy. We are being dragged into it. We are being dragged into it because it's an economy of explosive, productive knowledge. People are talking of robotics. There's a lot of things that people are talking of. And we are talking of policy, and politics, and church, and religion, and comedy. So you can see that the dominant knowledge to push for change, to push for scientific discovery, things that will, the knowledge that will push people to create anything is not the common dominant knowledge that we have in the economy now. We don't have it. That one is very small. If you open the radio, what do you hear? These are people who virtually don't add any value to all the raw materials that they have. And the knowledge that will cause a lot of us to add value to the raw materials that we have, to create industries, to create products, to create services, to create innovation, The very places that we have to have this knowledge, on the media, on the radio, in seminars, those are the areas that you don't even hear these things. Maybe the commonest that you can hear will be maybe a bit about business, entrepreneurship. And usually, people who are even talking about entrepreneurship are people on payroll. They work in a bank somewhere, they are bank manager, they are professor somewhere, and when they want to talk about entrepreneurship, even, which is a good thing anyway, they are talking. But the people that they even bring to talk to you are people who have never even practiced it. So they just give you the knowledge from the college. And that is not their revelation. And that is not the knowledge that creates growth, that creates change. Because there's not going to be any change without knowledge. Without knowledge, So, and the man is just giving you the knowledge that they told him in school, the knowledge that is in book. No. You want to hear from somebody who has used the one they taught them in school to develop something, and out of the discovery that he went through in developing something, in building a business, in building a product, in changing a system, that knowledge is what he shares with us. Because that is his revelation. And that knowledge is what creates the change. It's not the one from the school. Because those are just the basis that they give you so that you can use them to discover knowledge. So when they are talking about business, they call these bank managers to talk about business. I'm like, you just take a notice in the newspapers or on the radio, on the TV, when they are talking about business. Look at the people they call resource persons, and look at the percentages and look at those who have started any business and those who are just professors and doctors, and those are the popular things in our country now. And that's why it's going to be difficult for us to go through any industrial scientific innovation and revolution, because we are just being told the academic knowledge. It is good, the academic knowledge prepares you the basis. After a while, we need those who have discovered beyond the academic knowledge to teach. And they don't have to teach in the classroom. No, the classroom is for the academics. It's fine. We are fine with that. But the discovery is for life. The young boy the guy who has come out of school, who wants to start a business, he doesn't to start a business. He who has used the professor's knowledge to build something. So if I'm the one going, the professor can teach me. He gives me to start something, But if I've finished the school and I want practical knowledge, I want the one who used the school to, and that one can teach. That one those are the people who have to share the knowledge that they have, so that people can learn from the practical revelations that they have had out of the doing. Because the knowledge that changes is not the one that the academic ones are the basis. They gave you they told you how to form, let's say, and you're able to form the drug. Now, when you have come up with your own drug out of them, now you can teach because you have produced something with the knowledge. And so out of you producing that drug, what did you discover personally that you can use to share with people who have to go and do something? They are not waiting to get the knowledge to go and write exam. Now they have written their exam, they have passed, they have come out, they want to do something, they want to create something, they want to build a product, they want to build any platform. They need the knowledge not from the academic one. They need the third phase of it. And so if you continue the academic knowledge, and that's what we have majored in, we have mastered the one direct from the academics. That's why the lawyer is always trying to explain. It's amazing. They have never won one case and explaining the law to ordinary citizen every time. And these are knowledge that will know any development. And yet those are the kind of things that we have mastered. We have mastered the policy. We have mastered even the religious. We have mastered the one that they just told us, the ones that they give to us in the church, and then we have mastered it. That is not what we're going to produce results. We want to hear the ones who learned those and applied and produced results. Those can also teach us, so we take it to the next step. So knowledge sharing, all of us know something out of what we have done. The base that they gave us, we know, every one of us. You have worked somewhere, you have done something with your life. What do you know? If you want to grow in depth of it, if you want to go deep in that kind of knowledge, what you need is you have to start to share that kind of knowledge. Because when you start to share, you are compelled to dig deep. You are compelled to go and do and study more. You are compelled to polish your philosophy. You become a better person when you start to share your revelations out of the things that you've been doing. Don't keep them to yourself, because the rate at which that we need quality knowledge to spread across the continent is way faster than the speed of light, if you are going to see any development on our continent at all. And so whatever revelation that you have, if there is anything that you have started to do and you got results, you share. And the more you share, the more you become better. The more you share, the more you become better. And the more the other person also gets to learn to apply something, they also go and share, they become better. Because if you go to Asia, for instance, if you go to China, the common thing is that people are coming up with some product somewhere. At least the part that I know, they come up with a product. You show them this, can you produce this for me? They go somewhere, they find a way of producing it. You show anything, it may not be exact, but they will come up with something. You show something to our people here, what do we come up with? Even if we do, some people are trying to tell us that it's not quality. But you need quality for when you can produce anything. You just need something. not quality. You just have to produce something because they have never, so you don't need quality per se. You just need somebody to create something. When we start to patronize them, when we start to use them, the people will get the feedback, and when we start to patronize them and get money, then they can, they can upgrade the quality, so to say. But you don't need quality when you can't even produce anything. And that is the kind of knowledge that will only come from people who are doing something. This kind of criticisms are coming from people who are just using the tools that they gave them in school. They have never produced anything with that, and those are the ones criticizing everywhere, because they are just full of the knowledge that is only for exam. So they are trying to live with exam knowledge, and that does not produce anything. And they are the ones who they call experts. There are a lot of experts in our country who have no personal revelation of the things that they say they are experts in. They have never produced. They use data that other people have done. They read them, and then they come up with something, and they make a lot of noise. Yet we are not going to go far with that kind of if you have a lot of those people in numbers. And at the moment, we are getting a lot of them in big numbers. So we are not getting creators and producers and people who are innovating. We're just looking for people who are analyzing everything. We have a lot of them in numbers. They're analyzing every data, everything that the few who are just thinking are doing. And so knowledge sharing is very important. And we are not talking about sharing the academic knowledge. We are talking about the knowledge that you have discovered out of that which you are doing with your life. You share it with people, and that's how you develop the philosophy. Because when you share, become better. When you write a book out of what you have done, when you write an article, when you have a blog, when you write something on Facebook, whatever that you're writing, you become better when you start to share with people, because you start to process a lot. And so if you can put anything, whatever product that you're doing, those are the kind of knowledge that people want to hear. If you're building business, what are the things that you identify in building business in our community? If you're building anything at all, what are the things that you have to identify? Share them with people. That way you start to think of solutions, because people will ask you questions. So what do you think of this? What do you think of this? What do you think of this? Before you see it, you yourself, you thought you were helping somebody by sharing them, but it's rather the help that you ever needed in the first place. It's not that you were the one to help the people, but really, when you started to share, you get more benefit than those who are you've been sharing with, because you start to get polished, you start to get certain, you start to get accurate, you start to know what works and what does not work. And so share the knowledge that you have in anything that you're doing, and don't listen to those who are just using direct knowledge from school, who have never tried to do anything with it, and they are only all the time questioning, and there's no proof of data, there's no proof of what they have done. There's no physical proof of what they say they are expecting. So whatever, the world has changed. The world has changed, and we are in an explosion of knowledge, an explosion of data. People are writing things, people are talking about things. The only thing is that we should be able to channel them rightly to help us to get results. You don't just have to have every knowledge. You only need the knowledge that will help us to get the results that we are looking for. And when people send you things on WhatsApp, can you use them? It's not just about motivation. Motivation is good, but beyond the motivation actually is nothing until there's a strategy. There's a plan. If there's no plan, if there's no skill, if there's no development, motivation is useless. And so you can get motivated, and you don't know where to go. Because it's not just about motivation and people trying to send you all kind of motivation. No. How do you do this? What person do I have to become to build capacity to do this? How do I develop this business? How do I develop this product? How do I build this? How do I work on this? That one is more superior to the motivation. The motivation is just to tell you don't give up. But the fact that you're not giving up does not mean you know what to do. And the results will come from knowing what to do. And knowing what to do is a product of knowledge. You got information. Somebody told you how they did it when they met the same kind of situation, and then you got inspired and you started to apply it. Maybe, and the next thing you see, is that you're getting results. And so you share the knowledge that you know. Share it with people. You become a better person. And if people also share what they know, we will explode as well. We cannot be left behind all the time as Africans. We can't. And the knowledge that we are talking of is not where Ajako went, where the movie people went, Majid went. No, those are so much. We have so many of those, and we are not going anywhere with those, where the sports and the policy. Now everybody here is a politician. No, I'm talking of productive knowledge. Knowledge that is producing something, knowledge that is producing a business, knowledge that is producing a chair, knowledge that is producing a product, knowledge that is producing something. That is the kind of knowledge that I'm talking of. I'm not talking of the knowledge to make you laugh and smile and dance and jump and say God will do it kind of knowledge. No, I'm talking of the knowledge that you will do it. You will get inspired to do it. You will think to do it. You use your brains, and you consciously sit down to do whatever it takes to get the discoveries that you have to build that which you have to build. So that knowledge is what I'm talking of. And so you share the knowledge that you have, whatever little that you have discovered in this life, share them. Share them. That's why when you go somewhere that they are serious and they are doing a lot of productivity, and they are coming out with a lot of things, new ideas, new products all the time. If you look at it, there's a lot of seminars, discoveries, discussions, and that's out of that. That's why they are getting results. It's as simple as that. They discuss things that will get them results. They want results. So those are they get that. The moment they go to the other side of the entertainment and the sports and the politics, you see that there's no production there. They are just talking and politicking. I'm talking of the other side of us who should focus on getting better results, better products, better businesses, better, those who are just going for the knowledge to get better at their personal level, at the company level, to get productive, is what I'm talking of. That kind of knowledge. So we all know something. If we start to share what we know based on what we have achieved, what we have produced, the other person, and it will benefit you at all as well. So your knowledge on business, on people, on money, on health, on finance, what is it? In creative thinking, in innovation, what is it that you know? That which you know, you start to share. You start to share, and never be afraid of sharing, because you become better. You become better. If you hold it and think that that is a formula, somebody has told you something. If everything that you see in this life, somebody had knowledge to create it, if they kept it secret, you will not benefit from anything at all. And so all of us know something, and that which you know, you start to share. People are, because of mistrust, people don't want to share anything at all, but they are quick to share the foolish ones. And it's amazing when something is special to some people, they try to share it. I mean, they find a video somewhere which somebody is doing something that they are not proud of, that one they want to share it quickly. But when they have discovered something about something that will help you to become better at what you do, that one they are thinking twice before they share it. It's amazing. Yet that is where we have to go faster to share. We have to get young people thinking creatively, coming up with better programs to solve farming issues, waste issues, coming up with machines, coming up with businesses, companies that are creating products and services. Those will not come until the knowledge that we constantly share every day, because all of us are sharing knowledge that whether we like it or not, we are sharing something. We are sending something to somebody all the time, and most of it is just a joke, comedy, trivia, politics. Those are the things that we share. And and those who are also religious think that when they share the Bible, when they share the Bible, it means that they think that is the most important thing. It's amazing. They think that once they share the Bible, it means that they have shared the heart of God. I don't think so. I don't think so. What I think is that if you really think that you know the Bible and the principles in the Bible, you create something. Because that's the Bible. The Bible is full of ideas of people, of a God who created something physical. God, who is a spirit, who created human. He created the earth, physical. He created a lot of things. A lot to even see how they work. God created something, and we are just using science and technology to try to find out what he created. And you are sending us quotation. Where is the scientific revelation out of the Bible that you so much hear at home? You know? So the ones that are holding the quality knowledge, because if you really believe the Bible and if you really think that the Bible is God's word, you'll be the one creating things. Because he is a spirit, but he created the physical world. His creation, the proof of his spirituality is the creation. The proof of his omnipotence is the creation. We see it. You see the creation, how he created human, the complexities of it. So the depth of your knowledge is coming from the creation, the things that you have created. That is a proof of the depth of your knowledge. You know, so knowledge sharing. Don't hold them. Don't hold them. If you know something, don't hide it from people. Because a lot of people need to know something, especially the ones that will get things done. If you have a business knowledge, share them. If you have a product knowledge, share them. If you know how to innovate something, share them. That's what they are doing around the world anyway. That's why they are organizing all these seminars, business seminars, sales seminar, incubation, all those things that they are running all the time. And if you go to YouTube, you see people have put a lot of data there about how things are done. Because they are sharing. And those who are sharing something, they are the ones who are continuing to discover more. They are becoming better all the time than those who are holding. You know, so knowledge is like a river. Once you share, it starts to flow. It's current. And then you start to get more revelation. You get deeper revelation. Deeper because you share. And the other people will start to also discover more. And so when you have found anything, I'm not talking of the book knowledge. When you have found anything out of doing something, especially the knowledge that will help us to develop as a people, to build more, to build better economy, to build product. You know, when you hear a lot of the politicians saying that we should add value to our product, how are you going to add value to the product when you don't add value to the people, when the people are not adding value to themselves? And the people get to add value to themselves when they start to focus on sharing knowledge that adds value to them. That is the point. Then you see that the people will add value, because the people, if you could add value to the cocoa, you would have done it long ago. Why we are not adding that value is because that value is not in us in the first place. We have not added that value. We don't have that knowledge to add that value to the cocoa in that scale that you want. The gold that is everywhere in every village don't have the scientific knowledge, the business knowledge to build it. That's why they are not doing it. And yet, if you go to Obuasi, you have done if we push ourselves to get the technology that was extracting the gold and adding, if that knowledge was that common and widespread, it will still not be the one. And we have done this and we still call for foreigners to come and do them for us. Why? Because they did not share the knowledge with us, and we are not even trying to find the knowledge ourselves. The technology, the managerial, the entrepreneurial, the things that we need to do this. You know, so there are a lot of things that they just bring the foreigners to come and do them, and they tell the Africans, oh, we can't do it. And the next 200 years is not going to change until the people get access to knowledge, quality knowledge, not the drumming and dancing knowledge, not the Bible quotation knowledge, not the policy and the politics and the voting, not that kind of knowledge. Talking of the knowledge that will get the country to develop. It's not just about politics. It's about the people getting the awareness that we have to add value to them, to ourselves, to get the right knowledge to do something and to produce something. So if you know something like that, don't keep it. Share. Because we need that thing more than even the food and the water. The productive knowledge, the productive technology. And I'm not talking of the professor kind of knowledge. That one is for school. I'm talking of the one that we have tried to do something with, that we have identified that works. You know, that works. That kind of knowledge is what we all need to share. The one that is productive, not the one that we are using to dance and drum. Because you have dance and you have drum, and we continue to be rude, and we are virtually servants on our own land. We can deny that, but it's true. The big businesses are run by who? The big companies are run by who? By foreigners. And when we get job in those businesses, we are very happy. And then when they give us Land Cruiser, you know, on your own land, in our own country, it doesn't even click us that we should be the ones controlling a lot of these things, because somebody else did not share that knowledge with us. Somebody else who did it kept it. So they share the comedy with us, so we are full of the comedy. They share the jokes with us, so we are full of the jokes. They share the politics with us, so we are full of politics. They share the religious knowledge with us, we are full of it. But they did not share the one that will make us dominate in business, in creation, in product, in our own environment, in finance. They did not share that with us. We kept them. They kept them. That's why all the big industries are still being run by foreigners. Even when your own government people have big projects, they call for foreigners. They say that their own people cannot do it. Then I always ask them, so when will they learn? What strategy do you have to make sure that the next 3 years, the next 4 years, if you have not done this thing for over the last 200 years, 50 years, 100 years, how are they going to learn it? Do you have any strategy to train them, to get them involved, so that they can also develop their expertise? Or by 2050, you are still going to call the Chinese to come and do everything, or you're going to call the Americans to come and do everything, and you still pride yourself, our people cannot do it. If you cannot do it, then you can. Why are you holding that position? I don't think you should also hold that position, because you also don't qualify. The foreigner should hold that position, after all, because you don't even think that your people should be the ones doing it. Why? Because somebody else did not tell that man in that position. You know, somebody else did not share that knowledge with them. So they only operate with the knowledge from the classroom. And knowledge from the classroom, the best use of it is just to maintain the status quo, to maintain the one that somebody created. But we are talking of the knowledge that is above the one that they gave you to become a lawyer, a doctor, whatever you are. That knowledge is as a result of the revelation that you have acquired, the techniques that you have acquired, the experiences that you have acquired by doing something with it. You know, you got those revelations out of you doing. And now that you have produced something, that knowledge, that worked, that produced results, you don't keep it. You share it with others. You know, because your people are being controlled, left to right, everywhere. So if you did it and you did it rightly, then you share with others. And that is the knowledge that Africa needs. That's the knowledge that all of us need. And yet that is the knowledge that the few of us who found it kept it. Because it's a secret to them. What you're doing to yourself is that if you don't share those, it means that you will not grow to get into the depth of it, of this knowledge. Because the more you share, the more you discover yourself. Sharing is more for you. Sharing knowledge. Knowledge is not like maybe food that you're sharing that it reduces. You know, maybe you have rice that you're eating, so your friend takes this, and it's almost finished. No, knowledge is said that the more you are taking, the more you are getting. There's no end to knowledge. You know, knowledge that produces, because God Himself is knowledge. So there's no depth. It doesn't exhaust, so to say. It doesn't get finished. The more you are sharing it, the more revelation that you are getting. And somebody else should have told the people who got results that share it with your people. Teach them so that they can be kings on their own land. No, they didn't teach us that one. They are the ones telling us when they were in the university what the professor was telling them. It's always what they told them in school. They don't teach us what the discovery that I've made out of this training that they gave me. And that is where the strength is. And that is what the kind of knowledge you share with your people. You know, so that they can be strong on their own land. The business that you have built. Who are you sharing the knowledge with? You keep it to yourself because secretly you are in competition with everybody. think that nobody should succeed apart from you, and that is a weakness. Because if everybody is poor, you're not rich. If everybody is not succeeding as you are failed. As a matter of fact, you're failed. And that's the knowledge, that's the philosophy of the one who is full of mistrust. Because he grew up in an environment that nobody trusts in him. And so if he discovers something, he cannot share it. And that is a major play on our land. And that's why people don't want to share anything. That's why people are careful. People don't want to discover anything. People don't want to share anything with anybody because there's some level of mistrust. Yes, but if you want to grow, you go to any street in Accra and look at the businesses. Go to Spinters Road and see all the businesses there. Go to Tema Industrial Area. Go anywhere and look at those who are owning big businesses in our country, to show you that somebody else did not tell us that you have to be the strong ones on your own land. Somebody else did not, because they kept them. They thought that it was between them. No. If you don't change that, the next 10, 20 years, it's not going to change. And it's not like the people should add value. How are they going to add value when they don't have any knowledge which is valuable, which is of value? So the more you discover in this life out of whatever that you're doing, the more you share that knowledge. And the more you share, the more people become better. And the more you also become better. There's nobody that you share knowledge with who becomes better than you. You continue to grow in it. You continue to get in depth, deep knowledge into that, because you're sharing. Knowledge is a river. Okay, and the best of it is not the ones that you wrote in school with certificate to get certificate. The one that you have discovered when you get the results. What did you see differently? That is the knowledge that you share with people. And you should never be the one who is always concerned that you want people to go through what you went through so that they can respect you. I don't share that philosophy. I think that if you know it, share it with people, because people whatever you know it, somebody else at least gave you a hand, And so I'm talking about sharing your knowledge. Not knowledge sharing, or share your knowledge. And the knowledge that you share is not the one that you use to write the exam. I'm talking of the one that you have had results from. Every one of us knows something in this life. A profession that you have, what is the secret that you have learned? The things that you have discovered in anything that you are productive in. Share it with people. Share them with people. And that's how you're going to, because the world really, where we are now, every day, how much data is being produced? Now it's even video. People are producing data. There's information spreading everywhere. Now, we did not catch up with the Industrial Revolution, but we are in the knowledge. Whether we like it or not, we may not have created it, but at least they dump it on us and we have to use them. Now, unfortunate thing is that we are just using them for the jokes, for the comedies, instead of us to use them for the productive knowledge to work in every aspect of our economy, in every aspect of our lives. When you are in any WhatsApp group, look at the conversations that people send you. It's a joke, it's comedy, it's things that are trivia, things that will not add any value to you. Once in a while, you get somebody who's trying to be religious. They send you all these things early in the morning, Jeremiah something, Colossians something all the time, as if that is the only knowledge that you need to become productive. No, there are innovative knowledge. There are things that people have discovered that you can share with people if you want to even share anything like that, so that people become better, people become skilled, people become informed. And if you tune into the radio, what do you hear? It's all politics, and it's because of the civil education. My God, we don't even know that there is a substantial deficiency in the kind of knowledge that our people are processing and the kind of future that we want to create. We have no clue. There are the very minds that are needed to create this wonderful future. We don't even know it. And so the future from now to the next 20 years is not going to be the one China is seeing, I don't think, until there's this drastic change in the way the people are processing information and the way knowledge is being shared. proper knowledge, where people become responsible, where people can start something, where people are looking for solution to problems. That kind of knowledge. When you are no more looking at this one, the Chinese should do it, but you are doing it. You're not looking at the Chinese. You're not looking at, you're not looking at the Chinese. When it comes to science, when it comes to the network is not good. When it comes to science, technology, the Africans are only involved at the classroom level, not at the industrial level. When it comes to innovation, creativity, no. But when it comes to dancing and they want to call us when it comes to dancing and joke and comedy. Remember when I was in school, I asked a professor, International Schools Day. I saw the Japanese, they came with computers. I saw the Germans, they came with something technology. I saw the Americans, and then when it came to the Africans, they brought drums. So ask the organizer, why when it came to the Africans, you brought drums and culture and drumming? Why? Ask her. She couldn't. She said, if you have anything, go and bring it. Because when it comes to science and thinking and technology, they don't even say anything about us. But when it comes to the jumping and dancing and shouting, the Africans, so we have bought into that lie. It's a new time, it's a new day. If you share the knowledge that has produced results in your family, in your business, whatever that you're doing, knowledge that is producing results, those are the knowledge that we have. And share them quick, because our people need that. Continue to share such knowledge, there will be change. There will be change. There will be development. Because without that kind of knowledge, productive knowledge sharing, and getting widespread going, there's no that will change. Because change is just depending on the dominant thoughts of the community of the country. That's what brings change.